All right, so hello and welcome. Today we're going to be going over a little bit different thing. We're going to be going over a guide for the DLCs for Hearts of Iron 4. I don't know if anybody asked, but we're doing it anyway. So, here we go. Basically, if you don't know, a lot of the Paradox games have started to do a subscription model, okay? This subscription model, if you go to the base game, you have base game. If you go to the DLCs, it's called going to be expansion subscription. Okay, click on that. This thing right here will get you for $5 a month, or it changes depending where you are, but it gets you all the DLC for Hoy. Okay, Together for Victory, Death or Dishonor, Waking the Tiger, Man the Guns, Battle for Bosporus, Loud Resistance, No Step Back, Radio Packs, and all the other crap. Okay, for $5, basically you can play mods. Now, you will need to have basically every single DLC to play mods. There will be people that will tell you that it's bullshit, and I'm calling them out on it. That's bullshit. You need all the DLC to play any modern mods, okay? Because the DLCs are balanced around you having the mods. If you don't have the mods, you're gonna see a lot of fucking features you don't have, okay? So for $5, for you to get all the DLCs, probably $160 for the DLC, I would do this, okay? You'll easily get your money out of that. And you can cancel at any time. So, again, expansion subscription, I recommend. But now we're going to go on to the actual DLCs, okay? So, the first DLC was Together for Victory, okay? Now, this came out in 2016, and you can see it's mixed, all right? So, we're just going to go over what it says. So, you have new national focuses and events, okay, for Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the Raj. In South Africa, basically they have actual fucking focus trees now. Okay, if we go to Hoy, you should be able to see. If we click on Canada, you should be able to see they actually have a fucking focus tree. You don't have that if you don't have this DLC. Okay. Alternate historical pass. Again, same thing. New autonomy system. Okay. Now this is big because before then, you basically puppets couldn't get out. Okay. So what this autonomy system is the following. If we switch over to England, okay, and we go to manage subjects, this whole fucking thing it didn't exist beforehand, okay? So what does autonomy do? Okay, autonomy basically gets you more manpower, overlord trade, and then it depends on the exact DLC, or not DLC, the mod, because mods can change this around a lot. That's why you need this. This is one of the first things that ever came out, and you need this, okay? And basically, it lets you have, puppets, right? They give you all the stuff right there, colonies, all the way up to dominions, and then they become free. And once they become free, they're just like any other country, okay? But this allows you to control them, okay? This also lets you do this funny button right here, which is request forces, okay? When you do that, you just take all of their men, okay? And you control them. This is very good if you're playing in single player to control them, right? Very good. Changes to lend lease. This basically adds lend lease to the game. Okay, if you don't know what that is, basically you have the ability to give stuff to other people. Okay, so for example, Ethiopia is currently at war, right, with Italy, right? The lend lease system, basically quote unquote how it's supposed to work, is basically you'll be able to give equipment out in droves to whoever. Okay, so we tag over to the Soviets. This whole thing doesn't exist without this DLC. Okay, this lets you give all of the equipment and stuff. Right? You see how important the first DLC is. You see it's very important. Okay, you don't have that option to do anything with Lend Lease if you don't have that. Okay. Next is Spearhead Battle Plan Command. Okay, quite literally, um, adds adds an actual feature to the game. I don't know why this wasn't incorporated, but yeah, if you do a battle line, you're gonna see this little spearhead option. If you don't have this DLC, fun fact, you can't do that. Okay, spearhead, quote unquote, lets the AI drive in a spearhead, but I never use it, so I can't really tell if it works. I just do offensive lines because spearhead is dumb. But it is a thing, and maybe you have some micro uses for it. Okay. Next is technology sharing. Okay. Now, what this is talking about is nations can share text. Okay, This is very important for Kaiserreich because Kaiserreich uses the same features. Basically, when you're in the Commonwealth, right, for base game, what this DLC adds is basically you have a research pack, okay? Which means that everyone shares research here, okay? So a better example would be to tag, I don't know, Australia or something. Every member that has something researched will lower the time, okay, by up to 50%, right, on every tech. This is a DLC feature. You see why it's important. Or Kaiserreich, the German Reich, or German Empire has it, and they all share it together with their puppets, right? So those features. Why I say you basically need all the DLC if you want to play mods, right? And then land battle log. Okay, what this is referring to is basically best way to show you this is, well, we can't really, but right here this is the combat log, right? This is what it's talking about. Basically, it gives you the option to do this stuff, right? So that's what the combat log is, okay? And that's basically everything in Death and Dishonor, right? At least the highlight points, okay? I don't really know if it adds anything else. I don't think it does. But you see, this is a pretty crucial DLC for you to have. It's one of the first ones, too. So there you go. You pretty much need this if you want to play anything. Next, we'll go to Death or Dishonor, okay? Now, Death or Dishonor is a little interesting, okay? So this one adds 4 focus trees, okay? Hungary, Romania, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia, okay? If you don't care about any of those countries, right, because they didn't have focus trees back in the day, and this basically gives them a focus tree, right? It's a very basic focus tree, but it exists, okay? And this also adds equipment conversion. Okay, this is something that these little DLCs start to add up, okay? Equipment conversion basically is this little thing right here where you can swap over equipment, okay? How useful is this stuff? Not really useful on a large scale. I'll just see if I can even try to make an example here. But it's, I don't even know what the hell's wrong with this thing. But basically, yeah, you can't use it like that. Basically, you can start converting stuff over, okay? For equipment, like tanks to SPGs or something, right? This is the DLC that added that feature, okay? And then you have new music and art, nobody cares. And then new diplomacy / puppet interactions, okay? License military equipment to bring other nations and just basically sell your stuff, okay? Now, okay, let me try to explain this. So, licensing is something that you can do with other countries, okay? The AI will never do this to you, and you can do it to yourself. Basically, what it allows you to do is if somebody in a multiplayer match, okay, has a tank or aircraft or whatever, and you want to research it faster, you can request the licensed production of it, okay? And you can just build it yourself, right? So us as Australia, let's say we want to build, Boomerang or something. I don't know. Whatever, okay? You can request it from the UK, okay? Like their whatever thing they have, okay? For this example, we could try and get this basic light tank chassis, okay? So, since we do not have any light tank chassis, you can see that we have a 20% research speed bonus, okay, because of it. Next, if we actually request a light tank chassis, okay, and we say, and the AI actually does its damn job and gives us the fucking thing, you will see that once it is accepted, you will be able to research this thing faster, right? Now it is a 40% because of the licensing, right? And the tech sharing, okay? This is what that feature is, right? This is, kind of situationally useful, okay? So overall on this DLC, if you don't want to get a $10 DLC and you don't want this one, you don't have to get it. But I'm just saying, if you want to play mods, you're basically going to need it, okay? But if you want to save money, okay? It's not amazing. Next is Waking the Tiger, okay? So Waking the Tiger was the one that basically added stuff to Germany. Right here, okay? National focuses to Republic of China and Communist China, okay? And they added 2 new focus trees for Japan and Germany, okay? Now, all of those are great and all, but you don't really need them, okay? Because basically it just adds the opposed Hitler path and some other stuff, right? The main reason you do this is for the chain of command. Put multiple armies under a field marshal to coordinate larger movements of army groups, okay? Basically, this allows you to have a field marshal and a actual general, okay? One field marshal, one general. Can't assign a field marshal. But this allows you to do that and have actual, like, massive front lines, okay? If you didn't have this, it was back to the old general system where they had, like, unlimited numbers, okay? And then I think they limited it in the most recent thing. So who knows? Who knows what the hell happens there when you don't have the DLC, okay? Decisions. This thing adds decisions, right? This whole thing doesn't exist without this DLC. You can see that it is kind of important for it to exist because you have improved working conditions, promised peace, a whole bunch of stuff, right? Economic decisions. You don't have this whole thing if you don't have this DLC, okay? The last thing is scavenge equipment from battlefield, volunteer, air corps, and acclimatization of troops and other changes, okay? Scavenging equipment is basically you just loot from the battlefield, okay? Volunteers, right? Volunteers can fight in other wars. This is very, very vital for mods. For Kaiserreich especially, you need this DLC or you're not going to do anything in Kaiserreich because half the game is you playing Germany or France and just sending volunteers to win battles everywhere, okay? And acclimatization is stupid. Basically, if it's hot, if it's real hot somewhere, it's going to add, and I can't even because it's January, but let's say it's winter, okay? Winter, right? It's snowing. Acclimatization basically gives you less penalties for, being in snow. So if I can actually give this example to you guys, I might be able to, I might not. We will see. Depends if the game would like to actually work with us. But basically, acclimatization is your troops gain acclimatization like this, and they start to lower the penalties of fighting in snow and hot weather, which you have to acclimatize to, okay? That's what this DLC adds, okay? This is a massive DLC. You need it, okay? You need it for the chain of command decisions and more. The focus trees I could give less of a crap about, but you need this. And it's a $20 DLC, so you're out of luck there, right? Next, man the guns, okay? Man the guns is very simple. Okay. Man the guns was one of the things that broke most of the game, okay? Basically, one, it adds ship designs, okay? The alternate paths, I don't care about, okay? Basically, it lets the UK do funny things and it lets the USA become the American first party and adds all this stuff, okay? Now, the ship designs, I have already gone over and made massive videos on it, but basically it lets you access the screen and build custom ship models, okay? If you don't have this DLC, you basically can just do this. That's it. You can select models, and that is it. It'll look like this screen, and you just build them from there, okay? Admiral traits and skills, okay? Basically, before this, you didn't have any admiral traits. Congratulations, you can now have admiral traits, okay? You kind of need that, right? Next is government and exiles, okay? So they are a very special mechanic. Basically, when France dies, you get a government in exile, okay? And you have the ability to produce troops. There is such a niche topic on this that I could make one on it. But basically, you can use their manpower to do air wings and build divisions, okay? It's okay, all right? Other national focuses, it gives the Netherlands and Mexico national focuses, for whatever that's worth. The Netherlands is completely broken now and doesn't work anymore, and Mexico's is funny. Other than that, you can add naval landmines, okay? So basically, everything that's banned all the time is basically you can get mines. They add this whole tech line down here, so you can add this mine laying rail to your ships and drop mines in the sea zones out here and mine, okay? You have naval treaties and ship priority controls, okay? So what it's talking about for ship priority controls is this. You can determine right here if you want ships to have access to avoid and go around. So for example, if I said avoid the English Channel or don't go through it, they'll reroute, okay, around it. And avoid is avoid and blah, 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 okay? Naval treaties. Naval treaties is something fucking stupid. So if you take a look at Germany, or I think they have the damn focus tree, the limit. No, they don't. Good. England has the limit, okay? So basically what it allows this thing to exist and all it's doing is adding a max cost of your ships. There you go. Okay, and then it allows you to withdraw or whatever. Okay. Amphibious landing vehicles adds the power to do beach landings by researching specialized vehicle for your marines. Okay, what it allows you to do is research this whole line down here of the tarpon and these. Okay, it's absolutely vital you have these for landing in anywhere. Okay, because before this you didn't have them and you had marines. And let me tell you, marines versus tanks is not going to go very well on your side. Okay, and you have some music and shit. Okay, man the guns is it again? It's basically a required DLC. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you want to skip out on this one though, as long as the mod isn't heavily in the Navy game and it doesn't require any of the other stuff to work, which it probably will, then you can probably skip this one. But you will eventually need it. Okay, it adds a whole bunch of stuff, right? Next is law resistance. Okay, so law resistance was the thing that added the whole spy agencies. Okay, let's see. It adds focus trees for everyone. Cool. Espionage. Basically, it adds the espionage thing right here. Yeah. So what this espionage thing does is allows you to basically build spies and counter espionage and do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Okay. You can collaborate governments, do a whole bunch of stuff with the spies. Okay. Support resistances, collaboration governments. You can actually decrypt and encrypt. Okay. And you have recon units. These recon units are the scout planes right here. They're a recon unit, quote unquote, and armored cars. For whatever that was worth. So armored cars are completely useless now, but back in the day, they may have had a purpose, but they are completely broken now and don't work at all for their intended purpose of resistance suppression, which was the original purpose, and they don't work anymore because of another DLC we'll get to. But for further ado, this is what the espionage thing looks like. You can do a whole bunch of stuff here. You can put spies out in countries. It's a lot of stuff, and you kind of need this DLC. There are some mods that you don't have to have this one for, but having the spies is nice. Okay, this is one of those ones you could probably skip out on. I'm gonna be honest. The only other thing you would have to realize is that instead of this espionage thing, you're gonna have a tech in your engineering, if I remember correctly, and it was encryption and decryption, and all it did was basically give a bonus or a negative if you had better encryption or decryption. At least that's what I remember it being. Okay. And then we're gonna go to Battle of the Bosporus, but for one more thing, if I remember correctly, Waking the Tiger, and this is just a little tangent. Okay. One of these allowed you to add general traits. Okay, general traits are kind of important. Okay, for pretty much everything. It might have even been in Death and Dishonored. No, it wasn't. But basically, general traits give you the ability to do this crap. Okay, I'll find the thing in a minute and I'll show you it. Okay, so general traits are actually in Waking of the Tiger. And I'll show you exactly what those do. So, what the Waking the Tiger DLC allows you to do is instead of just having only these traits, you're allowed to actually pick traits. Oh my god. You can see why this is kind of valuable, okay? To be able to pick traits for your generals and give them all the field marshal stuff and the adaptable traits, okay? It's very good to have, and you kind of absolutely need it at this point, right? So that's the general trait thing. I was just going off on a tangent there. Next is Battle for the Bosporus, okay? Now, Battle for the Bosporus is interesting, okay? It adds national focuses to a few countries, okay? Turkey, Greece, Bulgaria, okay? And that's it. If you want to skip a DLC, this is the one to do it, okay? I do not believe they added anything substantial to that, okay? And what I mean by that is they updated the game, but they did not add any feature locking for you the Battle of the Bosporus, okay? But they gave everyone a whole bunch of freaking national focus things, okay? So this is one of the DLCs that you could actually skip, and it's only $10 though, so you can do what you want there. They also call it something else. No, they call it an expansion, so it's a goddamn expansion, okay? Last DLC that we'll talk about here is No Step Back. You need No Step Back? Yes, you need No Step Back. Okay. Basically, No Step Back adds a whole bunch of national focuses to Soviets. It reworks the Polish one, because the Polish one you got back in very early on. It was probably an anniversary pack. Yeah, the anniversary pack. If I remember correctly, one of these older packs added Poland to the game and gave them a focus tree. Okay, No Step Back reworks it a little bit. Okay, and he adds a whole bunch of crap there, but that's neither here nor there. The Baltics and other stuff. Okay, but the main thing is it adds Officer Corps. Okay, Officer Corps is very, very handy and very needed. Depending on the mod, it's absolutely needed. It lets you basically get a whole bunch of spirits off. Relief Command, right? So you can get your advisors off. You have integrated designers for stupid speed, and then you can get your naval designers for like 80% off, right? This is the whole Officer Corps thing right here, right? All of this stuff is, okay, I've done videos on this before. You can go find them in my guide section. But this adds this, okay? Very important that you actually have this DLC. I can't tell you how important the Officer Corps is now. Army Spirits, again, it's just all of this crap here. And then the supply system update, which basically is Scorched Earth, Floating Harbors, special supply units added to the logistical system. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong here, but I think it might add trains. That might be the only thing it does, because I don't remember if trains are base game. I don't think they are. They may be. This thing doesn't sound like it, but who knows what Paradox has done. Somebody can leave a comment in there. But for a fact, it adds floating harbors. And floating harbors basically let you, required, you get landing craft. Basically, floating harbors let you land on something that's not a port and have supply. So it just sits there and you have supply for 30 days. This is invaluable, okay, for landing in hard contested areas because the AI will defend the ports, but not the other sides, okay? At least it'll defend them less. And it adds a tank designer and a railway gun, okay? The railway gun is a little important thing. It's going to give a whole bunch of modifiers off, okay? So basically, it gives bombardment, right? Just like ships would, and it suppresses the defense of enemy division. So it's very nice to have these things, okay? And lastly, the tank designer. Hey, I just made a recent video on the damn tank designer again, them changing it and shit. Basically, before this DLC, you had like lights, mediums, heavies, and they were all standardized, okay? And that was it. And now you can customize them, and everyone likes the customization you can. So it's basically a required DLC. I will tell you this, though. If you are not going to play either Kaiserreich or Kaiserreich Ducks, right, those big mods, you may not need that, but you would need the other Officer Corps thing. So it's like, you don't need the tank designer, but then again, you kind of need the Officer Corps, which is the whole big feature, so... Because some mods are still using the old system of just researching stuff like planes. Like, they're still using this old system for tanks. A lot of mods are actually doing that. Just some don't. But that's up to you on that, okay? It's whatever you want to do there. But yeah, that's the last DLC, okay? We've gone over Together for Victory, Death or Dishonor, Waking the Tiger, Man the Guns, Law Resistance, Battle for the Bosporus, and No Step Back, okay? I have told you that you should probably get the subscription if you want to play anything that's a mod for Hoi, and it's just a very good deal in general, okay? All this other crap, you can buy it, you cannot. I really don't care, okay? But I thought I should inform you guys of what DLCs you should probably get, because it might be confusing for new people, okay? I hope you found that video enjoyable. Otherwise, it should be on your screen is me talking about my tanks and ranting about them in the last patch. So, other than that, I'll see you people later.